Hey everybody, welcome to the Patty G Show. I'm your host, Patty G. We are here with Ana Couture of Trifecta Sports Therapy. Trifecta Sports Therapy. And we are going to be talking about sports therapy, working with athletes, some different methods of relieving maybe some pain or some tension in your body. And then we're actually going to put that into practice. She's going to show me what the cupping method is. If you follow the show, you know we've talked about this with a previous guest, but we never actually experienced it. So I'm nervous, but I'm also excited to learn a little bit more about her business. And before we get into all that, I want to give a big, wonderful shout out to the amazing sponsors that make this show possible. Government Taco, Falaya Real Estate, Mallard Bay Outdoors, Horizon Financial Group, and Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge. Without further ado, Ana, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much. It's an honor to be on the show today.
It's an honor to have you on the show. We've been working at this and getting you on, and I'm excited to learn about what you do. And also later on, we'll get into what is on the table in front of us, because it's not what I thought initially was a bouncy ball. It actually serves some purpose. So we're going to talk about that later. But who are you and what do you do?
Okay. I am an athletic trainer and massage therapist, and I am the owner of Trifecta Sports Therapy. It is a massage therapy-based studio in Baton Rouge, Louisiana.
How did we get here? How did you get to becoming a sports massage therapist with your own space?
Okay, well, actually, my degree and background is in athletic training, and so I was an athletic trainer, both a student athletic trainer, and then later I served on the staff at LSU as the women's softball athletic trainer for 6 years. And so my husband is an athletic trainer as well, and so we had a little stint that we had to move to Tallahassee, and he had an opportunity at Florida State. So we were already married, and let me backtrack. We got married, and 3 weeks later, he gets this amazing opportunity to take this position at Florida State, and that's where he had done his master's program.
Okay.
And he said, "Wow, this is like my dream job." And I said, "Who are you talking to? LSU is my dream job. I am like here for good." And he's like, "Man, I think this would be good for me. I have to take it." And I said, "Oh, well, okay, I'm going to stay at LSU." And so I actually lived with my newlywed year. I lived with my sister and her husband, and they were newlyweds as well. So I'm sure they loved me being the third wheel.
No way.
Yeah, but they kindly took me in, and I had the year of a lifetime. Let me tell you why. I had the sporting year of a lifetime.
Year of a lifetime, first year of marriage, not living with my husband.
Dude, we never fought. It was like amazing. We each worked 85 hours a week, so there wasn't much time to see each other.
Valid, okay.
But it was awesome. And he was with the baseball team at Florida State, and I was with the softball team. So that year, our team made it to the LSU, made it to the College World Series, and so did Florida State. So when I was wrapping up my tenure at LSU, knowing I was moving there, I showed up on the weekend of their Super Regional, got to go to the Supers with them, and then head to Omaha. So it was pretty awesome ending to my career here. Oklahoma City with the softball team to Omaha, Nebraska with his baseball team. So
That's incredible.
It was incredible. We had an incredible summer. So I moved to Tallahassee, year 2 of my marriage.
We won't hold it against you. It's okay.
It was awesome. But I really couldn't figure out what I was going to do there for employment. They really didn't have a position for me in their athletic training room. So I was doing everything. I tried to sell orthopedic devices, medical braces. And I was like Will Smith in The Pursuit of Happiness, carrying some devices around, crying on the beach. I don't know what I was really doing, but I was pretending to work. And nothing felt like I was being fulfilled, because I just loved my job here at LSU. I felt like I had a purpose, and I loved being part of the athletic department here at LSU. And so one night I woke up and I said, "Hey, I'm going to be a massage therapist." And he said, "You want to do massage?" And I said, "No, I'm going to do what I did at LSU, and we're going to call it massage therapy. I'm going to use maybe just a different licensure." There's some licensing regulations as to why I didn't open like an athletic training practice. And so I went to school there while he was working at Florida State, and it was awesome. I got to spend some time working with all the student athletes at Florida State. I worked and volunteered and did a lot of things. The soccer team asked me to go to their Final Four. I didn't even work for Florida State, and they invited me to the Final Four because I was helping take care of the girls that year. So I had my hand in a little bit of everything. And just when I finished my schooling, we went to have some beers to celebrate, and LSU called and offered my husband the baseball position here. So we moved right back, and then that's how I started Trifecta.
Okay, so there's a lot to unpack there. First, you left LSU.
Mm-hmm.
How was that? How did that decision come about? I know you and your husband both had university jobs. So, what went into that?
It was just a good career move for him. He was at Loyola University in New Orleans. We had both done our undergrads at LSU, and I did my master's at Southern Miss. I worked with the baseball team, and he had done his tenure for his master's at Florida State. So it was just an incredible opportunity for him to get back into Division I athletics. And so we made a decision that was what was going to be good for our family. So I'm really blessed because it came full circle, and I'm here in Baton Rouge getting to work with student athletes, and we'll talk about that in a minute, in a different way. So I have a different place and a different role within the athletic department now. So
that's great. I'm sure they welcomed you back with open arms.
Yes.
Obviously, they called you. Oh, no, they called your husband.
They called him. But,
Okay. But obviously, you worked your way back in there. So
Yes.
we'll get to there. But in Tallahassee, what was it like kind of starting your own? Like, were you starting your own practice? Were you
I just was
helping? Like, was there a name?
No name yet. I was just in massage therapy school the whole time we were there. Like I told you, I was waiting tables. I worked at a restaurant. I sold medical devices. I worked for an orthopedic doctor, and nothing was giving me that fulfillment that I had when I worked at LSU. So I was just searching because LSU was my dream job, and it still is. And so I knew I had to get back into putting my hands on people and helping make a difference in that sense. So that's kind of where I stumbled onto maybe doing massage therapy, because you can get that gratification working with clients and patients and athletes one-on-one. And my cup was full again once I started doing that. So.
That's incredible. And you said there was some naming distinctions between massage therapy and massaging or something like that?
Well, just athletic trainers usually
Okay.
don't have their own business. They usually work for high schools, universities, and there's some now new roles in like orthopedic clinic settings. And so this would provide me the opportunity to work for myself and have my own business. And I knew between my husband's schedule and us wanting to have a family one day, it was going to be good for me to have a business that I can control my own hours and kind of put my family as a little bit more of a priority. And I started Trifecta before I had any of my children, but once I started the business, my family started coming pretty quickly. So,
Okay, so you wrap up in Tallahassee and you move back to Baton Rouge, and this is kind of where you wanted to make it like a real business.
yes, a no-named business.
No named, okay.
Had no name, no clue what I was going to name it. And a really good friend of mine, her name is Melissa Seal. She was one of LSU's strength and conditioning specialists. She still is. And we worked softball together, and we were drinking a bunch of wine one night, and she named the company for me. So meant the best of a lot of things, the best of three things. And I wanted that good vibe in the office. And so what I wanted to feel like I'd bring to the community is helping people recover, repair, and restore their body. And so we came up with Trifecta.
I love that. So how did you kind of put pen to paper when you were back? Like, we're going to open a business with no name. Like, what were the steps you started taking to get your doors open?
I went to Jenny Peters and I begged her for help. Begged.
Love us some Jenny Peters.
Jenny and Jane were influential in me starting Trifecta. They came down and helped me put a lot of marketing strategies together, open-armed, welcomed me back to the marketing, to the running group. Jenny and I had traveled on some trips together before, because prior to her opening varsity, she was the marketing director for LSU athletics. And so I had traveled on trips with her before with some of my teams. And so she was, as she is, typical Jenny, going above and beyond for everyone. She open-armed welcomed me to the group, to the running group, introduced me, talked about how much benefit there could be to getting some recovery work, especially with all these runners that run a tremendous amount of miles and tax their bodies incredibly. So yeah, she helped me find and start Trifecta. And I said, well, where am I going to work? Am I going to work out of my house? I mean, I don't know. And she said, give me 2 days. And I was like, Jenny, I'm just going to work in the store in your office. And she's like, have you seen the size of my office? I said, girl, I just need like one table. Give me one table's worth of room. And she said, no, give me 2 days. And she actually went and negotiated for me and found me a place to rent, and brought me there 2 days later to meet the owner. And I was there for the first 6 years of my business. So.
And where was that at?
It was a little building on Goodwood Boulevard across from the library. So.
Okay, across from, gosh, I know where you're at now.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, That sounds like everything moved kind of very quickly.
Oh, yes.
Once you got back here, connected with Jenny and everything. I mean, did you have time to kind of process anything, or were you just, we're going with it?
We're going with it.
Wow.
I was telling Barrett earlier that I get to the running group and she says, okay, bring a table. You're going to come to City Park. You're going to work on all the running group. There's about 80 runners there. And I'm like, 80 people? How am I going to work on 80 people? And a good friend of mine, Scott Higgins, had just moved back to town. And he was like, what's your schedule like Thursday? I definitely could use one of these recovery sessions. I have no clients, no business. I'm like, let me check my busy schedule and I'll see when I can work you in. And he actually became my first client at Trifecta.
You over there? Let me check my schedule. Start flipping through
Like,
pages.
let me check my very
make the noise.
open schedule.
So he was your first. Well, I mean, did you see him before varsity? The 80 people at varsity?
He was one of the 80 people in the run group that Jenny introduced me to. So,
okay.
I mean, I'm telling you, that woman is a woman. She makes everything happen, and I'm extremely grateful. In any show I've done, any podcast, I'm sure to thank my family, God, and her, because she was influential to helping me with this business.
Yeah, she is a force of nature that is just always pushing the community first, doing what she can to make things better, and then bringing everyone together holistically. Like, how can we all benefit each other? You know, you do this, great. I know this person that does this. Let's make something happen.
Yeah.
So that's incredible. Now, what was it like doing 80 people with their recovery and helping them with that?
Well, I probably didn't work on that many. There was just a line, and at some point, maybe people got
People
tired and said, maybe
leaving.
I'll book with her later at the office. But yeah, it's definitely hard to start from the ground running with no clients, really no idea of kind of how to formulate this. We had like a business class or two in massage therapy school, but I'm an athletic trainer. I'm used to working with my players 2-3 times a day. I go to all their weightlifting sessions with them. I covered all the games. I took all the student athletes to their doctor's appointments, very involved in like their whole care versus someone just coming in and telling me they hurt their leg. They're running 50 miles that week and they're just wanting to come in, you know, once or twice a month for recovery. So it was a big transition to learn how I was going to formulate the business. And it's changed and changed for the better over the past maybe 2-3 years. We got really big into having like a maintenance plan. We used to have a lot of the athletes that would come in right before a race, right after the race, or every week for the month leading up to an Ironman, a race, like the marathons that are here in town. And I started saying, guys, I want to see y'all once a month all year round versus 12 times, like once a week for 3 months, because you're gearing up for this big event. And then I'd see them counting 9 months later, and then their body was like going to hell again. You know,
Wow.
Everything was hurting. They weren't moving right. They were limping, or they had soft tissue dysfunctions because they weren't really treating themselves during that off cycle of their training, which if you know runners and triathletes, there's no off season. They just pretend like there's an off season.
You just run less.
They're running less. They're
just run a little bit less.
and they're training. They're just maybe not gearing up for a race, which these Ironmans take a huge amount of preparation. I mean, I'm floored. And that's a couple other people I had help and support my business. I had Will Jones with Fourth Dimension Fitness. Him and his wife, Jessica, run like a tremendous group training triathletes. And then the Fresh Junkie group, influential in training. And I have a friend, Angie Brown, has Catalyst Fitness now. And so all of those people were in that coaching mode, having clients and wanting to keep their athletes like feeling and moving well. So really the first event I did, there was a lady by the name of Ann Shawhan, and she has left town since, but she used to be LSU's assistant swimming and diving coach. And she had a little triathlon group too. And she called me and she said, oh my gosh, I swam at Florida State. Y'all were at Florida State. I work with triathletes. Your company's name's Trifecta. I want you to work with all my triathletes. We'll talk about that.
It fits.
What are the odds? I named this business Trifecta. We start with all these triathletes. It's awesome. But she said, hey, how much would it cost for me to get you to come down to New Orleans, work on my team for like a whole morning? And she's like, and by the way, I have no money to pay you. And I was like, well, cool. I guess we'll do it for no money then. And it was like a nice opportunity, once again, to meet different people in the community, put myself out there, show them the services that I would be able to provide if they came in the office. And just, once again, it's like, this is a labor of love. I just love doing it. And so it makes me feel good helping people feel well. And no one ever finishes a treatment session and says, I feel worse. Everyone feels better. So, I mean, it's like instant gratification.
Right.
So, yeah, I did a lot of things like that in order to grow Trifecta. And keep talking.
By all means, keep going.
At the same time, me and my husband started our family. And so as the client load grew, I thought I was going to be a one-man show. Trifecta didn't mean 3 people. I just needed an awesome name for the business. Thought it was going to just be me. And I also, we'll talk about that later too, help out with LSU a little bit with the LSU athletic department. So between all of those things and my husband working the hours that he does with LSU's baseball team, the business was growing at a pretty rapid rate. So I hired 1 employee, and it has grown. I started in 2014, and I hired my first therapist. His name is Brenner Corey, and he's amazing. He's my right-hand man, and I hired him in 2016. And now we have 8 massage therapists with the team, and I'm number 9. So we've grown a good bit since then.
I'd say you've grown a good bit.
Yeah.
So it almost sounds like your marketing plan, really for something like this being so hands-on, is kind of, let me come see your team, let me come see your group of people, your runners, your athletes, whatever they may be, show you what we can do, and then that's kind of how you get those people through the door.
Yes.
Not necessarily, while the videos on Reels and TikTok and all that stuff is great, it's actually being with that customer, that client, and showing them what recovery looks and feels like to get them to come back and say, hey, what you did to me the other day, I can't explain it, but I feel so much better today. Let's get on a regimen for it.
Yes. And
so what is the importance of that continuous, ongoing repair and rebuild that you do at Trifecta?
Well, we've had to put a little bit more education behind what we do, because it's not like, oh, sure, just go get a massage. And I really value, and I know our clients value the service we're able to provide, because we're getting amazing feedback from the medical community. We have a lot of physical therapists and orthopedic surgeons, regular physicians that are referring us their patients. And I think it's awesome too, to have a physical therapist treating a patient for a shoulder injury, a surgery, an athlete that hurt themselves, and recommend that they come to Trifecta in conjunction with their therapy. So it's not just seen as like, go to a spa and get a massage, and nothing is wrong with that. But the service that we provide is a little bit more medical based in nature.
So what is the difference between the physical therapy and the massage therapy that y'all kind of specialize
Well, and
in?
we're not a physical therapy group. So
Right.
There is different licensure laws. I know when Robbie came on, I saw his amazing podcast that he did with you guys. We have different regulations on stuff that we do. We are not able to adjust any patients. I know y'all talked about that on the show. I don't provide any dry needling services. Everything is manual with our hands. And so, but that being said, wait till you see some of the other little toys and torture devices I brought here.
Don't don't lead with torture devices. It's not going to be inviting.
But we have some ability to use a few other tools other than our hands. So we do some cupping, and then that little scraping tool that's on the table. It's an instrument-assisted soft tissue manipulation, so you can use the tool to kind of help break up any myofascial adhesions that we feel when we're working on patients. And then a lot of times people don't do any type of mobility training, any stretching, until they get on our table. And so that's our opportunity, where if you were to maybe go for a relaxation type massage at a spa, nothing is wrong with that. I love drinking my champagne and wearing a robe and having like an experience that's for me. But when people are coming in, they want a little bit more recovery at Trifecta. They want to feel well. They're a little bit more engaged in their therapy session. They're asking about questions or things that they can do to help them feel better and carry over like the continuum of care from when they leave our office to maybe when they come back in the next few weeks. And that's about it.
So it's like massaging with a purpose.
With a purpose, a plan,
Yeah.
And so that's been another thing that we have. I think that's a little bit unique is, once again, I was saying I wanted someone to come all year round, and so we can kind of stay on top of their wellness versus just coming in every now and then if they pulled a muscle or they were doing a pre-race warm-up before the marathon or a post-race like recovery flush. And so we started a monthly maintenance program, and we have hundreds of people that are in the community investing in themselves, and it's like awesome to see, especially since COVID. I didn't think this business of mine was going to survive, but it has been a tremendous growth since then. People maybe just realizing, like waking up and realizing it's time to take care of yourself, man. It's time to invest in yourself and take care of yourself, do the recovery, do the workout, do the recovery work, drink water, be better about their nutrition. Once you kind of like start taking care of yourself just a little bit, it could be hopefully an opportunity to do a little bit more and more in every aspect of their lives,
Yeah, well, and then when it comes to recovery and taking care of yourself, for the maybe people that aren't training for a race or the people that aren't running so many miles, but the person that's just in the gym to stay up to date with their health, in the gym to stay fit, they're not necessarily training for something except for life. Or training and just to kind of keep their body in shape. But if they have a week off and then they come back and they're super sore and things are kind of tired, like, is that something where they need to kind of maybe think, oh, maybe I can go to a recovery specialist like Trifecta and get this stuff worked out?
Yes.
I missed leg day for 2 weeks in a row, got behind the weights, and it just is killing my legs.
Yes.
Is that something that would be kind of, you want them front of their mind to think, maybe I should go to Trifecta and see if they can help me through this soreness?
Yes, for sure. And that we just started educating the community as a whole. So my company is called Trifecta Sports Therapy, but we see a lot more people than just everyday athletes. We have elderly people that come in. We have youth athletes that come in. We have a huge following of pregnancy clients. And so we have a lot of people that were athletes or not that just want to feel well and help them through their process of them being pregnant. It's just been awesome. I mean, you can come in the office and you'll have a 12-year-old soccer player in there, an 86-year-old that enjoys going to the gym a couple of times a week, a professional athlete, kid from LSU. Just that we get to service so many people. It's like, it's just heartwarming to see that it started as a certain thing and how much it's grown and how many different types of people in the community we can help. Like in my wildest dreams, and especially as a one-person business, I don't think I would have been able to see as many people as we do. So we've been blessed that it has grown organically like this.
So when you first opened the doors in the building Jenny negotiated for you with, did you ever think it would be something where it is now?
No. I mean, like I said, I was hoping to see as many people as I could because I love it. Like, I'm excited to treat people. I feel like so good and so rewarded when someone walks out of that room and tells me how much better they feel, or a week later they text me and how they PR'd on one of their days at the gym, or how they just finally slept for the first time in 3 months, not on a recliner because their shoulder wasn't hurting anymore. I mean, it gets you right here, like all the time. But I didn't think that. I do some contract work at LSU, and we'll talk about that as well. But I would see some of the players from LSU at my house, and my husband's like, man, I'm trying to get away from these players when I get home. You can't have a line of guys here. And I'm like, well, man, we have like LSU Pro Day tomorrow. I got to get all these guys ready. And so I don't know what type of business my kids think I have. I mean, it was like just a bunch of athletes running through women's basketball, soccer, baseball. My kids think I'm pretty cool is what I'm saying. Like, they're like, I don't know what mom does, but she's cool.
I don't know what mom does, but we're always around athletes. It's awesome.
Yeah, it's awesome.
So when did you know, I mean, because as a small business owner or as a sole proprietor, we tend to kind of like to do everything ourselves, right? Like we have to be all hands on deck all the time within the business. Two-part, were you like that? Because not everybody is. And when did you know you had to hire someone?
Well, actually, about almost 2 years into the business, before I had hired Brenner, I had an awesome lady come in to get a massage. And Kendall, I'm giving you your shout out here. And I asked her what she did for her business, and she was a small business consultant. And I asked her to help consult me. And she came in and kind of looked at the business and said, number one, I think you need some help, with scheduling everyone with like a notebook and paper. I had no like scheduling system. And I'm just one woman trying to see. I mean, I had a few hundred clients that I was trying to see at that point.
Few hundred?
At that point. Plus doing all the LSU sports massage recovery stuff by myself, it was...
Wait. So a few hundred clients in your...
Maybe not that I saw all the time, but,
Right.
but in 2 years, my database of people had gotten up because I was seeing a lot of people just every now and then, every couple months
Right.
before a big race.
And then the LSU stuff.
And the LSU stuff on top of
Okay.
it. So, yeah, I mean, I was pretty full up, taking about maybe 25 or 30 people a week, which is a pretty labor intensive for a massage therapist. And so she suggested I get some help and went through all the process. And she had given me great advice, is that a business owner is really good at their craft, but not necessarily usually good at in the business world, right? And so I used and listened to everyone for their advice. Jenny being my first person, giving me tons of business advice, but yeah, bringing someone on to help me educate me and see where we need to go, where we trend. My husband was so gracious to always do all my books on like an Excel spreadsheet. But as this has grown, we needed to have, someone doing all the logistics like that for the business. So yes, I never thought I needed to do everything myself, but that's what I had the opportunity to do when I was by myself. But as we have grown, yeah, I've kind of handed off a few things. So,
well, and it's hard too, right? As an entrepreneur, it's hard to kind of ask for that level of help in certain areas because you feel like you can do everything.
Yeah.
To an extent. I mean, obviously you can't do everything, but you have that feeling initially of it's my business. Like I want to be in control of everything initially. But, Robbie and I kind of had this conversation about the medical education system and how what they educate you on for doing your craft, as opposed to, like you said, one business class of like, oh, if you want to do this business thing and have your own practice, here's the bullet points you need to know. Okay, that's it. Moving on. Like, how, from that perspective, were you prepared from a school standpoint, if at all?
I think it was hard to translate what I was trying to do. I was trying to continue being an athletic trainer for the Baton Rouge community instead of for being an athletic trainer for the softball team. So I was used to seeing people, like I said, multiple times a day, available 24/7, going to all their appointments with them. It's not something that you can start coming to the office and I go to all your doctor's appointments with you. I wish, I just don't have time for it. And so, yeah, having to step back and say, look, I really need some help. And how am I going to formulate this best? And who am I going to outsource things to? And where my time is best served, So.
Yeah. So then moving from the building that Jenny helped you get to the building you're in now, when did you know that transition needed to happen?
Well, we had really outgrown the space. We were like packed in there trying to make some things work. And we got this awesome opportunity to move in and do like a new build out and a new development on Goodwood. And the plans were in place. We were so fired up, and we moved in the weekend that COVID had the official shutdown. So yeah, and we were closed actually 4 months. So the first whole quarter that we had moved into the building, we were closed.
How was that?
Interesting, and look, just a lesson that just to stay faithful and to try to not lose your cool. And maybe I was freaking out on the inside a little bit, but I just felt like I had all this team that was worked so incredibly hard for me, and to let them down or not be able to support them or them not be able to support themselves. But look, we have come back stronger and really blessed. And so we've only grown since then. And we had an opportunity to move into this new building. And within a year, we had filled the space. And since it was a new development, there was a suite available to the right. So we did a second build out, and then there was a tenant on the other side, and he just moved out, and we took the other space to the left. So now we have 3 suites in the building.
You're just taking up the whole parking lot now.
Yeah.
That's incredible.
Yeah, it's awesome. And like Robbie talked about a little bit too, I think his clinic's a little different from the traditional physical therapy model. So I don't know if he treats as many patients in a day. So what we do is we spend one-on-one time with all our patients, and it's private. Like their room, their treatment time is for them. And so everyone kind of needs their own room. So it made sense to expand and take some more space in the building so we can eventually grow and have more therapists in the building.
Yeah, absolutely. You have to, for something like what you're doing, it is a very, kind of private situation that everybody comes in for. But do y'all offer any classes or anything of sorts?
We do as of last week. So I'm so excited that you asked me. We started a little mobility class because I had a lot of clients that come in and say, look, I don't stretch unless I'm on this table. So maybe if you can kind of come in, force me to stretch a little bit. And
I would be one of those people. I stretch very little bit before workout, and that's it.
And you do Ironmans, correct?
No, gosh,
triathlons.
No. I did triathlons.
Okay,
I'm not back into triathlons yet. I'm that person just maintenance in the gym. That's it.
Okay, well, I love that. But you really don't move other than in the gym. Quick little warm up. Here, and good to go, right?
I do some leg stretching too,
Okay.
and that's about it.
Okay. Well, some clients had asked, and we started this neat little class, and I was trying to find a way how I could put my spin on it. So we have a very small 6-person class that we're going to go over some foam rolling. We're using these vibration boards that are really good for total body lymphatic drainage and muscle recovery. I've got stretch straps in there, some trigger balls that I'm going to show you in a minute. And I do a little bit of massage therapy on the clients while they're in the room in some form. I'm either helping assist them and stretching them, getting them to their end range of motion, or I come by and like kind of work on everyone's back for a second. And then I ended with like a little cold towel face massage deal. And everyone seemed to love it last week.
That sounds like a spa treatment. Like a spa treatment with recovery built in.
Boutique recovery class. Yeah.
That is, yeah.
Yeah.
So y'all just started that last week.
Yeah, we started last week, and I've been really blessed to network with all the neat business owners in the community that either own a gym, own a CrossFit studio, the people at Lululemon, Varsity Sports, everyone that's in this health and wellness, Magpie Cafe, everyone that's doing health and wellness related businesses. And so, I mean, so we know someone from either each gym, either be an owner, an instructor, or a client from like everywhere. And so to be able to kind of offer some services that are a little different than what they're getting at the gym. We're not teaching a lot of like fitness-based classes, but just to kind of help them come in and recover from like all the work that they're doing at other places in the community.
Right. And so y'all are moving into the athlete space. How did you get that connection? What has that been like?
Well,
being the unofficial official person for the teams.
With the teams, yeah. So Jack Murchie was the director at sports medicine at LSU, and he was my boss and mentor at LSU. And when I came back to LSU, in 2014, when I opened Trifecta, he gave me the awesome opportunity to come help with some of the teams. There's one other massage therapist with the team who used to help me with my team, and I knew when my girls used to see her, they loved it. And maybe I didn't have as much time to do as much one-on-one soft tissue work. I'm taping everyone's ankle before practice. I'm waiting for someone to potentially have an injury on the field, So, I mean, you're kind of doing a little bit of everything when you're in that athletic training role. You're dealing with general medical conditions like I'm not feeling well, sore throat, having to get them to a doctor. You're doing, I fell and hurt my knee. Can you take a look at it? You're dealing with the mental health stuff, maybe having to get them to see someone if they're having some decrease in performance or some stress or anxiety. You have to know a little bit about everything. The nutrition component, we have dietitians on staff. We didn't at the time, so just kind of helping what avenue I was going to get them to when they were having, trying to gain weight, trying to lose weight, trying to eat for performance, those types of things. So you kind of just had to be on your game in that role. And an intense, very stressful job, but like loved every second of it. And this way I just get to come in and help and do just the recovery side. So he asked me to come on and help take care of the teams. And I started with maybe working like 2 to 5 hours a week. And now Trifecta goes out there during big bulks of the busy season. We spend 30, 40 hours a week helping all the student athletes out there. So
you're all like full-time out there help. Now, is it just one specific sport, or you all across the board?
We pretty much work with every sport other than two. And like, it's a contract. I'm not an employee of the university, but,
right. Yeah.
But they've given me this opportunity to come in and help with the teams, and we work with all the teams. So it's awesome. I myself travel with the gymnastics team on all their road trips, me or someone from my team, and we do some recovery with them on the road. It's a very high sport that requires a lot of loving on those girls. They beat their bodies to a pulp because there's excellent coaches with the team. They do a lot of prevention with the team. So their coaching staff is big about just the sport in general is tough on the body. So LSU, rolls out the red carpet to make sure those girls are taken care of, and all the student athletes. And so that was a big part is helping with that team, because the girls saw the benefit of the recovery. The coaches saw the importance of it. And so that's kind of how I started with that team, kind of primarily. And then we've expanded to all the teams.
So when you're looking at the business model, you've got like this contract work with university, and then you've got your actual storefront work within your own business. What is kind of some balancing techniques you found going to and from those?
Well, it's a fine line, because our clients, like when you come to Trifecta and you love it and start coming, those clients book their appointments in advance, and so it's been a fine line to make sure I give all the clients that are coming into our office and on our membership like priority, and still being able to schedule out LSU accordingly. LSU's been wonderful to me too. We kind of know what they're needing during the season, other than like little glitches or trying to prepare for when we're working on the teams during the postseason is a little bit harder, because you just don't know when they're going to make it, if where they're going, how far they're going, and it kind of goes week by week towards
Right.
the end. It's like crunch time at the end, but crunch time at the end for me ends up being crunch time with softball, baseball, gymnastics, football. So it's kind of hard to manage those like end of the season times for the teams, but we've done a great job. And I think I have 2 office coordinators and I can't live without them. And they manage all of Trifecta and my life. Hannah and Lee, I love you. And so having them really help and organize all that has been awesome. And I have awesome staff. Like the therapists are so excited to be part of, working on clients in the office and outside of the office. And so they all help out extra to make all of that work.
Yeah, because I imagine dealing with the athletes, I mean, that in and of itself, like you said, it's almost 40 hours a week is like a full-time job for somebody.
Yeah, well, we all just go and share. Like tomorrow, we're all going to go get ready for like football camp and help out with some of the teams. And then everyone has a full day at the office with like our private clients that we have.
So 2 full days. So 2 full days in one.
Yeah, you do a lot. We do a lot.
Wow.
So, and I used to have a contract with the Saints, and we're not doing that this year. But driving down to New Orleans once or twice a week it was an awesome opportunity that I had. But our business got a little bit too busy for that, so we had to prioritize staying here in Baton Rouge.
So have you ever thought about like opening up a second location?
I haven't thought about that yet, but I'm happy that we've been able to expand in the current space that we have, and that seems a little bit less overwhelming than like having multiple locations.
Right. Having 2 mailing addresses is where it gets kind of tricky.
Yeah. I don't know if that's for me, but
I mean, have you filled out the space yet? All 3 of the suites?
No, because we just took on that 3rd suite, so we have it's awesome because we have like room to grow, and it feels like comforting. So it also feels empty, but we will be getting some people in there soon. So
I'm sure.
Yeah, it's great. We've just grown so quickly over the past couple of years to have that extra space. It gives me some peace of mind that maybe that's a space that we can be in for a long time. And it's an awesome part of town. It's right around the block. We have 2 amazing women-owned businesses in that building, Eggy Salon Studio and a brand new medical spa, Meraki Medical Spa. So having them have amazing clients themselves, and they refer their amazing clients to us, and we refer our clients back to them, and them being such badass business owners is good too. So it's a whole good vibe at our, we call it Goodwood. It's called Goodwood Palms at Goodwood Palms.
Goodwood Palms. Okay. And where is that on Goodwood? Because the original location was across from the library. Where are you at now?
It's on Goodwood Boulevard. It's a big white building right across from right past East Airport.
Right past East Airport. Okay, gotcha. Oh, I've driven by your establishment several times.
And it looks beautiful at night, all lit up. Yeah, it's a nice building.
So, and you said briefly you've got like subscription models and just one-off sessions. What kind of, I guess, pricing models can people expect from going there? Do they have to do, subscriptions? Can they come in for just a one-time deal? What does it look like on the client side?
There's people that want to come in every couple of months and have a recovery session or on their birthday, and we welcome anyone and everyone that wants to come to Trifecta. But we do have a subscription model for people that are more interested to just kind of stay on top of like their health and wellness. And so we have a little package. I hate the word package, but we have a little package that's set up if people are wanting to come anywhere from 1 to 4 times a month. A lot of our
offerings. You have little offerings.
Offerings. I like that. Okay, offerings. And we offer some offerings with our membership. We have some discounted stuff. I wanted to do something exclusive for our members, and so we have some other recovery tools like these Normatec compression boots. Have you ever seen them?
I saw, I think, a picture of somebody in like a full-on like suit type deal. I'm curious, what in the world is that?
So we have these compression boots that they're for like, you can put them on just the legs. There's a hip application or just the shoulders, and it compresses and relaxes the muscle in a segmented compartment all the way up the chain, and it's supposed to help with muscle recovery and increasing blood flow, muscle recovery. And so we have a lot of people get in there. So some people might just come to Trifecta once a month to get their recovery session with us, and then come once or twice, the other times of the month to get in the boots and help do something that's recovery that's maybe not like a one-on-one treatment. And then in that fact, we also have an infrared sauna, which has a lot of therapeutic benefits to muscle recovery and on the mental aspect to relaxation. And so we have a lot of clients that get in that sauna as well.
Yeah, I've heard like being in a hot sauna is like really, really powerful for your body and like your mind.
Yes. And then this is infrared, so it's a little different just than like the steam sauna that you're putting like the coals in there. There's just some more therapeutic benefits to that. And we have some light therapy in there It's called the chromotherapy lights, and they have some.
Okay, so what is that?
It's supposed to help like different moods or different things in the subsystem, and clients just love getting in there. And if anything, they feel like they've sweated, they feel like it's increased their heart rate. They're relaxed at the same time. It helps with them recover from. I have a client just now that's an avid paddle boarder, and he just when I was leaving, he was pulling in, and he does a strenuous amount of ultra races and paddle races, and he gets in there pretty often to recover.
So what is the difference between the ultra ultra sauna and then the cold sauna? Like, what are the differences between those two?
Well, heat promotes blood flow, so it like
Okay.
vasodilates the tissue, and then the cold is like the opposite. So I'm a bigger fan of heat, and I'm also a fan of just the combination. We don't have any services at Trifecta that are cold therapy based potentially yet, but I'm a really big fan of people just doing like cold plunges.
Yeah.
And so people have asked about that, and that might be just in our future, but not yet.
Might be in that extra space you got.
Maybe.
Put some cold ice baths in there.
Maybe.
I've heard people going from like the cold to the hot, like that shock can be
Yes.
beneficial as well.
It can. So like at LSU, it's set up like that all the athletes have a hot tub and a cold tub, and they just float between the two. They're usually set side by side, and they can alternate doing some combination therapy that way.
That's pretty incredible. Mm-hmm. So what do we have in front of us here now on the table?
Okay, so
What is that?
Well, I know you had talked about cupping before, and so I wanted to bring a cupping set to show you cupping.
Okay. So what is cupping? Walk us through what cupping actually is.
Okay, so in the principle of doing an actual one-on-one massage, we're trying to work on fixing or helping with any adhered soft tissue. And that can be from dense fascia. Fascia is the connective tissue that encompasses like all of our muscles, our bones, our organs, every motor unit to the leg, or the whole body, and all of our muscle groups as a whole. And so most of the time when people injure themselves, they're injuring that soft tissue like right under the skin. So not always just the muscle tissue is damaged. And so doing some things manually with your hands or with other modalities to kind of help loosen that that area or fix the matrix, because sometimes all of that fascia with an injury can get adhesed, and it kind of like fuses together kind of irregularly. And doing the soft tissue work that we do, the structural integration, it's a specific type of body work that we do at Trifecta. That type of application, working on the whole body in a systematic fashion helps loosen up all that fascia. And then we've got some cupping. And so unlike me working hard into your leg and compressing the tissue, the cupping kind of acts like as a vacuum, and it pulls it. So it's still separating. It's still working on helping that fascia regulate. It's helping pick it from the skin to the muscle to the fascia, helping with that separation. So I'm going to try it on you today.
I know. So you've got this little hand pump. It looks like that's sucking out all the air, sucking the muscle in.
Yeah, it just helps create a vacuum.
Okay.
And they can do these cups with the glass, and fire is the...
Right. That's what I was about to ask. The fire method. What's the kind of the difference? Are there any benefits or anything of doing one versus the other?
I personally haven't worked with a lot of the fire method, and I do... I don't just let these cups sit like stagnant on the body. We do a lot of movement with them. So there would be glass all over my office if I did that. I'll put this on a pitcher and have them go through like their wind up, or actually go through their whole pitching mechanic and actually decelerate to kind of unload the rotator cuff. Or you can do, I'll have people standing up in the appointments, and we put some cups on, and then we go through some range of motions to maybe stretch the hamstring or different body parts. And so I don't feel comfortable using glass. And then these cups pop off. I can put it right back on the tissue. So.
Okay. And then you got these little yellow, what looks like bouncy balls.
I brought that for the yellow effect because I couldn't wear yellow today because I'm in a yellow chair, and the yellow is my color, and I'm on brand usually.
I didn't know yellow. So yellow's your color?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, we got something good going together.
I like it. Well, blue's my color, but yeah, we got the big yellow.
We got the big yellow chairs. Okay. Well, we have these trigger balls that we use to have. Have you ever used a foam roller or a trigger ball?
No, I think my wife may have used a foam roller, and I know that foam rollers have an incredible benefit when you do use them, but no, I've never personally used a foam roller.
Same thing, like helping break up any like fascial adhesions that you have in the system, like any knots that people like to say. So what I like about these are they're compact. You can travel with them. I have a lot of clients that maybe have like chronic hamstring, hip, low back pain. go on a long trip, they're driving, they can sit that kind of under their glute and kind of just do a little soft tissue release for themselves. I mean, people are going to come see us, but they're still going to need some things that they can maybe do at home. And so these are a couple little things, not the cups, but doing the foam rolling. I should have brought a foam roller, and the trigger ball is things that they can do at home for themselves for recovery.
Okay, so I mean, sure, let's do the cups. Let's see what we've got. What are we working with for these cups?
Okay, so you're dressed today, so
I am dressed. We're gonna stay.
We're gonna stay dressed.
Stay dressed.
PG show.
That's right.
Okay, but we are gonna work on just your neck for a little bit. So
Okay.
I'm gonna show you. I'm gonna start with that little stainless steel tool that I have here, and
Okay.
we're gonna loosen up your neck a little bit.
Okay.
And then I'm gonna put some cups on you, and I'm gonna have you just do some general range of motion.
That's perfect.
And then I'll kind of work on you a little.
That's perfect because, like in the office setting, you've got like you're either looking down at a phone or a keyboard or a mouse, or you're sitting hunched over. So maybe the neck is something that needs to get worked.
Oh yeah, I mean, like people will call sometimes and say, I'm not an athlete, I can't come, but my neck is killing me. I sit at a desk all day, or since COVID, I've worked from home and I'm like sitting on my bed and I'm like not in a proper position compared to how I was at the office. And so yeah, educating them on like working on their posture and things that they can do at home for recovery and or getting treatment at our office are all beneficial.
Okay, let's see it. Let's do it.
I'm coming around.
Come on around. I'll move the microphones around and we'll see. Make sure we get audio. I'll make sure we got the good thumbs up from Jacob over there. So this stainless steel scraper tool, I grew up on a farm, right? And so we had horses. It looks like a horse scraper. After you wash a horse down, you got to scrape the water off. That's kind of what it looks like. So I'm curious to see how it works. Go ahead. Come on. I'm nervous, man. I'm nervous. Okay. So you've got two little cups about what size would that be in diameter? Well, you've got an even smaller one. Okay.
I brought a bunch of them.
Oh my gosh. Nervous. I'm nervous. Okay, so what is this scraper device?
Okay, so sometimes I'll use this just to kind of help warm up the tissue. But if anyone's having like a little chronic issue and they feel like there's some tension in the muscle, I'll go ahead and use this. And this tool kind of gives me an indicator when I'm running it over the tissue if I feel some type of fascial adhesion, and I'll know that I can spend more time on the area with my hands as well. So this will be how this feels. And there's different tools, different trademarks. I am certified in the Graston method, and so that's just the name of the tools and the course I've taken. But there's a lot of these tools that are marketed now.
So what is the Graston method?
That's the name of the tool company that made these tools and put education course behind how these are applied and the different strokes and techniques and different ways to treat different injuries. It could be musculoskeletal injuries. They could be issues in the nerve. They could be issues in the joint, and different applications on how you can do them. And so I'm just running this tool around the upper cervical muscles. How's that feel?
Feels interesting. I've never had anything like this done. This is my first time. Y'all are experiencing this with me.
Okay, great. Doesn't hurt. It looks like
No, it doesn't hurt.
right?
No, it doesn't hurt at all. I can't really. Oh,
So you gonna bend your neck down for
that
just
would
a
look
sec?
like it would hurt.
It looks like, yeah. I shouldn't have said torture tools earlier. I joke because that's what everyone says when they come in our room. It looks like a science experiment because we got all this stuff going.
I'm sure
but
it looks like the whole lab table where
Yeah.
you've got all the tools and everything, and like everything's laid out for people to kind of get prepared for what they're about to experience. Okay.
okay.
Feels a little loose.
So at that point, I don't like to we don't just rub on people. Like that's what people ask about massage therapy. We are formulating a plan to kind of manipulate the soft tissue. And so you have to know your anatomy and your muscles and what you're doing. And so we're working on some of these cervical muscles.
And I know none of that.
And I like to bring the muscle from a shortened position. See, I'm shortening up you here and I'm lengthening you here.
Okay.
So it's giving you a little stretch
Yep.
while I'm working through the tissue through a different range pattern. I can't leave that other side unattended, so I'm going to shorten here. You're getting a little bit of upper
Oh,
trap.
wow.
Your levator scap,
That is interesting.
upper trap.
Man, I got like a full-on work session going. This is awesome.
I mean, man, Trifecta should come once a month, huh?
That's what I'm saying. We should do that. Trifecta once a month for the studio. Get
Okay.
Barrett, get Jacob all figured out. Oh, wow. Okay.
Oh, I left my gun over here.
Left your... Okay.
Therapy
So
guy.
that, I'm not going to lie, that actually felt really, really good.
It already feels
It does feel good. It's like my shoulders. I didn't know my shoulder was tight until you started working on it. Now I realized how tight it was.
Oh, that's what people say. They'll come in for like a hamstring and you start working on their shoulder and they're like, wow, I didn't realize I was having problems there too.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're going to place this cup.
Okay.
And it's not just like place the cup to place the cup. You know, we're kind of going to go over where the muscles lay, and you have a plan.
So what's the plan here?
So here, I'm just going to try to get your upper traps right here
Okay.
and part of your cervical, like the back of your neck muscles. So I've
Yep.
got these cups on.
This feels interesting, to say
If
the
these
least.
two little ones stay, I'm going to get here at the top of your neck.
Okay, the top of my neck.
Okay. And we usually leave these on for a few minutes.
Look like Frankenstein. For a few minutes, okay.
And then what I have people do is go through a few range of motion. So you're going to look down, and you're going to look back, and down, and back. We're going to look to the right and to the left. Good. And then you can look normal. And you can leave these on. I like to do them with motion, and you can also do a dragging technique where we move the tissue just side to side.
Oh, that is weird.
Okay, now look down and back a few times. 1 and 2. And now just with that little bit of treatment that we applied, look, I'm going to take these cups off, and now I want you to go back through and do all those ranges of motion that I gave you.
I'm not gonna lie. It feels like there's a lot more range of motion than before.
already, yes. And so
It's like I can turn my head freely now almost.
it's just giving the tissue some love. And so then this trigger ball, I'm
Okay.
going to have you sit back here.
All right, I'm sitting back.
And this will be, we can put this on different parts of the body. I have people sit on an area that feels tense, like your mid back, low back, upper shoulders is a
I was about to
common
say,
place.
yeah, low back is probably the most common for me.
Look, so we'll do that here. I'm going to have you sit back.
Okay.
And I'll have people in the office, if they're going to do that, they're going to lay on their back and just put that ball right under like the small of their back or wherever they're having areas of tension. And then you can just do some deep breath work to kind of help add some pressure to it. Or you can move side to side. You can move your legs up and down if you're laying down on your back. That'll be for part 2 when I come next time.
We're bringing the whole table and have like the full table set out here.
I'm going to put it here right under your shoulder blade here.
Okay.
And look, you'll feel it here. Just a good roll.
Man, I'm gonna go home and sleep like crazy. Oh wow. So now the next question: do people actually come dressed like this straight from work?
They do, and we have people just bring workout clothes usually. So for a female, it would be some workout shorts and a sports bra, and for our male clients, we have them just wear some athletic shorts.
Okay, that was incredible. Oh no, it's all good. You leave your mark on the chair, which is perfect. Okay, so that was, I've never experienced anything like that.
Okay.
That was interesting.
Sorry, I was trying to work and explain. We did a good job.
I think so.
Okay.
Jacob, we got some pretty good stuff. All right,
Okay.
awesome, perfect.
Okay.
You know, that was incredible. And like I thought at first, I was nervous about the cups. I'm not gonna lie. I thought they were gonna be painful to an extent, but they weren't. And then like as soon as you took them off, you felt that instant relief. And now like literally the whole top of my shoulders and my neck feels a whole lot looser.
And sometimes if you leave them, not only if you leave them on too long, but they can get a little dark. And sometimes a dark circle scares someone. So it looks more painful than the application or the treatment is.
So am I gonna have circles I have to explain to my wife when I get home?
Yeah, she'll watch the show, I guess, and she'll know. But
Honey, watch the show. Just watch the show, honey.
we actually had a client years ago that went to DC Mardi Gras, and they were like, "What is on your back?" Because the client didn't tell me that she was going to be in a very nice gown for this ball that she was having in 3 days, and I had cupped her. It's already too late, and actually got us some business. People are like, "I want that. I don't know what it is, but I want it."
If you're doing it, it's got to work well.
Yeah, so we did that.
Okay, so now that I'm all nice and relaxed, we can go ahead and start kind of winding the show down.
Okay.
So we do have a set list of questions we'd like to ask everybody. First one being, what is something you did as a kid you wish you could still do today?
Okay. Wait, can I say one more thing before we
Say
wind
it. Say
down?
it. Yes, absolutely.
We are going to have a new little service at Trifecta that no
Okay.
one knows about just yet. So I'm going to drop it here on the
Dropping
show.
of a new service. Absolutely. Look, deliver like a
secret.
presidential address, delivered straight into the camera. Yours is that one that Jacob's pointing at.
It's secret, so no one knows yet. Okay, y'all are privy to this information. No, we're going to be doing some very boutique one-on-one corrective exercise applications with clients, specifically in the golf fitness world. So,
The golf?
so
You're going to get a lot of me then.
yes, okay. Well, look, you're a big golfer.
Yes.
Okay, good. Well, we're going to be just part-time. I'm going to have my husband doing a couple of, he's certified in the Titleist Performance Institute screens and doing some corrective exercise programming through the certification that he has in his free time. Not that he has much of it, but he has been wanting to do some work to help Trifecta, and we have a need for that in our office. So he's going to be doing that. So maybe you'll be our first client to come get a golf screen and look at some imbalances that you might have in your body that will make you a little bit more. Once those issues are corrected, you'll be a little bit more better for your golf game. So it's not like a fitness coach. It's not a swing coach or anything. It's specifically to help your body do the load.
Letting your body move in the right direction.
In the right
needs to for
direction,
golf.
and then in turn makes you more efficient in your sport.
Oh, fantastic. We'll talk after. Maybe we'll do like an Instagram live or something.
We'll get him. Maybe we'll get him on the show eventually.
Ooh, maybe.
Okay, that'll be
Maybe I'll
next.
convince him about that. Barrett, can we put like a golf simulator somewhere in here?
It's for the business. You have
It's
to get
it's
it.
a write-off, It's a write-off. Oh, that's perfect. The green screen golf simulator is the same thing.
Okay.
So, okay, yeah, definitely. That's something that's very, very difficult to have a conversation with people when they get off the golf course and they don't want to admit, oh, I think I pulled my back or something. But it's a real thing. Like you come off, you could be hurting for a couple of days if you did a golf swing wrong.
Yeah, or even look, I want to get better. I don't know why my ball's not going as far as I'd like it to. And you look and you have some like mid-thoracic rotation issues where you don't function like you should, or you don't rotate as you should. So some education behind that, or putting your body in a better position to be able to be more efficient in your sport. And that carries on to other sports. I mean, you can work with all types of athletes or clients that are having issues. So that'll be something that we might be providing soon.
Okay. Well, I'll be one of the first,
Okay.
if
Then-
not the first.
Okay, awesome.
We'll work through it.
First.
I'm about it. Okay, so now you got me very excited for that golf. That
Should have started
golf.
with
You
this.
should have led with that.
Okay.
So anyway, so back to the question at hand. What is something you did as a kid you wished you could still do today?
Well, my mom is from Venezuela, so I
Okay.
spent every summer of my life, 3 months out of the year in Venezuela, and I loved it. And the country is not in the same shape it was when I was growing up, so I'm unable to go. And I am the loser kid that just got really excited about working, and I was like telling my grandma I couldn't go for the summer. I'm like, worked at a snowball stand, I worked at Chili's, I couldn't leave the chips and salsa life apparently, and I would miss out on a 3-month vacation in another country.
I think it's the loser kid mentality, though.
No,
It's the hardworking,
I was a hard
go-getter
worker.
kid.
No, but looking back, I'm like, man, I really should have traveled a little bit more, because now, I mean, I love traveling, so, and don't get to do it as much, with kids and everything. But I shouldn't have said loser. Yes, I was a hard worker. I started working at 13 years old and really stopped traveling for long bits of time like that.
Life happens, but every step you've taken has led you to where you are today.
Oh yeah, it's super blessing.
Oh yeah. So what are 3 lessons you've kind of learned along the way?
Okay, I think putting family and God first, and that has been a really big struggle as a mom and a business owner, trying to have that work-life balance. For my husband as well, just trying to prioritize your job and your family at the same time. And it's something, as I was growing the business, I'd feel like we'd get busy and I'd push the kids down a little bit, and then I'd get another employee and I'd have some help, and then we'd get busy again. And I was not neglecting my kids, but maybe just not putting that as my priority. And so, I mean, the one thing you don't get back in life is like time, right? And so family comes first, and all our team knows that. And I want them to see that I take pride in that, because I want them to have families and put their families first as well. So that's a big priority to me. And just treating others how you want to be treated. I feel like I'm pretty mindful, and I try as best as I can to treat everyone with kindness, and to be non-judgmental, and to be friendly, and to be loyal, and to be a good friend and trustworthy, because that's how I want to be treated. So just kind of
Absolutely.
having that mentality, and I'm like that with my team. I just, not only do I feel like I'm good with bending over backwards with people because I want that, but it's just the right way to live. So trying to be good to people all the time. And then I think the third good thing is if you love what you do, you'll never work a day in your life. And maybe that's not 100% true. I know what you're saying. Like, I still have to go to work. But man, every day I find something that I love that fills my cup. I am excited when I go to work. I'm excited being able to help educate my team and for them to grow as therapists, for clients to see benefit. It's so heartwarming that people will come in and just want to see my therapist. Like, I'll have a therapist sick and I'll offer to take their patient for the day, and they say, oh, no, I'll wait. And I'm like, I can't believe it. It used to just be me seeing everyone. And so for that to have grown so organically and people see the value in it. I was telling Barrett before we started that I was doing some client testimonials for our Instagram, and this one lady said she'd rather take food out of her kid's mouth before she stopped coming to Trifecta. And I was like, dang, we're doing something right, man, here. So,
oh, word.
So just how helpful it's been.
Yeah.
And I think maybe just another thing, like, people are taking the time for themselves. So just that minute to themselves, either being the mental reward that they get from getting a session, the physical benefits that they see, and then like really the combination of all those things, and maybe you get out of a session, you feel good. You're like, I'm going to maybe drink a little bit more water tonight. Maybe I'm going to try to do some meditation. Maybe I'm going to work on my sleep cycle. Maybe I'm going to eat a little bit better. Maybe I'm going to try to pull this foam roller out from under my bed because it's been there for like 6 months,
Clean it off first.
Cleaning it off, just to do a little bit of all the things,
Yeah.
and that's how I feel when I get on a good like routine for myself, just encouraged to do more and more. So.
Yeah, and I think that's to be said with everybody. Once the act of just doing it out the gate is so much easier once you get going, then everything just kind of snowballs. And you get that active lifestyle back. You're like, I want to do this, I want to do this, I want to do this. And then all of a sudden you're like, wow, I'm really taking good care of myself, all for making that first initial step.
Yeah.
So what is something you love about Baton Rouge?
I love being part of the university. I love living in a place that I went to college. I love the small town feel of this. I actually felt the same way when we were in Tallahassee. It was just that college town feel. My family lives in New Orleans, and so I love being so close to my family. I mean, most athletic trainers end up with jobs all over the country, and the fact that I get to be an hour away from my mom and dad is like awesome. I actually live next door to my sister, and we raise our kids like as a big single unit. So we've got 6 kids between the two of us, 6 little kids.
Oh my.
Yeah. So it has been challenging also to grow Trifecta and put my family first, like I was saying earlier. And so feel like it's all coming together, and everyone just does the best they can every day. And look, we've been really blessed that the community has responded so well to, what the service we're being able to provide. And people just see it as more than, I'm just going to get a massage today. Like, it's an investment into their health.
Yeah, it's part of now their daily life
Yeah.
of taking care of themselves and making sure that Trifecta has a big role in that.
Yes.
So with all this growth and everything, I mean, what can I do to help you?
Well, you're going to come to Trifecta, and I'm going to work on you, and we'll do a little live session maybe.
Absolutely.
That'd be great.
Absolutely. We'll get into all the mechanics and everything on the live session.
Yeah, I just love just meeting all the different people in the community. Everyone has been so gracious, like yourself, saying, what can I do to help you? And I feel like I've tried to. Like, I've met with a lot of different physical therapists, different orthopedic surgeons, different just general practice doctors. I have a rheumatologist that comes just for herself and her well-being, and she said, wow, this would be great for our patients. And so she started sending patients. I had a new client that was an obstetrician and said, oh my gosh, all my pregnant clients that have all these chronic hip and low back pain. So just the fact that these people in the medical community see benefit for themselves and then want to educate and refer their patients to us, that's truly a gift. Like that they see the results, they see the benefits, and they want their patients to feel the same thing that they do. So it's been awesome.
Yeah, and it's continuously growing each and every day.
For sure.
So for those that are interested, I mean, what is the easiest way for someone to get a hold of you, learn more information, and kind of maybe even book a session with you?
Okay, well, you can check out our Instagram. We have a nice little website that has like all of our information and our sessions and just about who we are and what we do. And we have 2 very friendly office coordinators that they are not front desk people. They run the show. They help manage the schedule, help keep up with everything that we have in the staff, run the LSU schedule, run my life, actually. they are movers and shakers. And so they are very friendly and go out of their way to explain like what we do at Trifecta to all the new clients that call, and they spend their time with each new person. Sometimes they're on the phone 10, 20 minutes with a new client, just asking all these questions about what they should wear or what the session's like, or talking about an injury that they have, and they best kind of get information down to ask me about it or kind of give them they know the drill now, so they can communicate enough with their patients based on their needs, selecting them to be with a certain therapist based on like maybe what would be good for them. And yeah, they run the show. So you can call the office and get on the schedule.
Absolutely. And we're going to link your social pages as well as your website in the show notes for everybody to come out and find you and kind of get in touch with you if they need anything, or just maybe are curious about what services you offer. So thank you, Ana, so very much for coming on the show.
Thank you so much.
I appreciate your time, and I appreciate the little next session. I'm feeling a whole lot better.
Awesome.
This is incredible. I'm not going to lie. That was, even that short little bit, you can tell a difference.
Awesome. Well, I really thank you for having me and for supporting all small businesses like myself in the community.
Absolutely. We're not going anywhere. We're going to be here for a while.
Awesome.
So thank you so much, and thank you everybody else for watching or listening, whatever platform you're consuming us on. I appreciate it. I know the guests do as well. If you're in the area for taking care of yourself, which everybody should be, make sure Trifecta is one of those places you check out for all of your needs within that recovery and wellness section, and make sure that you let them know you heard about them on the Patty G Show. And also a big, wonderful thank you to the amazing guests and the amazing sponsors that make the show possible, which you're going to hear a little bit more about right now.
Sell your home for a $399 flat fee with Falaya. No, seriously. Falaya will list your home on the MLS and help you get all the way to the closing table for as little as a $399 flat fee. Our online platform is insanely easy to use and will save you thousands. If you're thinking about selling your home in 2022 and want to keep more of your hard-earned equity in your pocket, you need to check out Falaya. Falaya, real estate reimagined.
Thank you all so very much for listening to this episode of the Patty G Show, brought to you by Government Taco. They're located on the corner of Government Street and Jefferson Highway. Jay is always slinging up a new taco of the month, so if you're a frequenter to Government Taco, let us know in the comments what you thought about this month's taco of the month. If you're not a frequenter, maybe trying out this month's taco might just convert you. Big thanks over to them at Government Taco for making the Patty G Show possible.
Imagine taxiing on a plane looking toward the end of the runway. It seems so far away, it's even hard to see it. And that's what the concept of retirement probably felt like when you were in your 20s, 30s, and 40s, way far in the distance, not visible or even a concern. But as you turn 50, something happens. Retirement suddenly seems like something real, something not too far away. In your 50s, you are rolling down the runway. Retirement is getting closer and closer, faster and faster, weeks and months zipping by. But are you even ready for a successful takeoff to retirement? Fear not, there's still runway left. But the time is now. Time to make progress and time to get a plan. The Runway Decade will help you get organized, get energized, and give you the direction you need to take off to your desired retirement. The Runway Decade, building a pre-retirement flight plan in your 50s.
Thank you to Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge for making this show possible. Nick Pentis is a past guest. We love having him on. Listening to him talk about the culture they have over at Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge is really an incredible thing to hear. How they treat not only their employees, but every customer that walks through the door. You are more than just a number to them. They're going to give you that white glove concierge service every step of the way. They're going to make you feel like family and take what can be a stressful time in people's life, shopping for a car. They're going to make it so enjoyable and so pleasurable. You're going to want to go back there time and time again for every new vehicle. Thank you so very much for Mercedes-Benz of making this show possible. Thank you so very much to Mallard Bay Outdoors, the Airbnb for the outdoor sportsman. If you're looking to book a hunt or a fishing trip, this is the platform to use. They are a past guest of the Patty G Show. We got to learn all about what they're doing from the ground up. They are really revolutionizing the booking process for hunts and fish all across the country for your next hunting or fishing experience, or maybe your corporate retreat. You're looking for something to do for your employees? Book a hunt or a fishing trip with Mallard Bay Outdoors, and they will take care of you every step of the way, from organizing it with the guides and the captains to making sure you can take care of them at the end of the trip. Mallard Bay Outdoors, a proud sponsor of the Patty G Show.